So you might be thinking about if Boise's going to be the best place for you and your family to call home. Well, in this video, as somebody who works with people making that move every single day, I'm going to share 5 of the main kind of pros people share as to why they made the move up here, but also that kind of live up to the hype once they get up here, because a lot of this, there are so many pros on channels like mine, YouTube, forums, everywhere. And some of those, to be completely honest, are just empty promises and you're not gonna love every single part. But these 5 today, people always do talk about. Like I mentioned, I do work with people making this move all the time. I'm Chase, I am a local realtor up here in the area. So if you have any questions at all about your journey or just the area in general, drop me a message. All of my information is down below. There's a full reload guide that you can kind of walk through, get familiar with the areas, see what this place might have to offer for you. The first big pro that we're gonna talk about is Boise is just so clean. Depending on where you might be coming from, you might be coming from somewhere that doesn't have quite the same level of clean feeling, whether you're talking about the downtown, the smell, the air quality, whatever it might be. Our downtown is consistently seen as one of the nicest, cleanest downtowns people have ever witnessed. We obviously are extremely spoiled with this because this is what we're used to, but whenever we travel and such, we'll be in different downtowns around the country and it is noticeable. Once we leave and then we come back, this is a very different feel than Chicago, than Seattle, for example. One of the other ones that I've had clients bring up quite a few times over the last year or so, the air up here, one, we all know it's extremely clean, but it smells good. I did not realize that certain places in Arizona, Texas, they just have this kind of rank smell that people get used to. Then they come up here, they kind of talk about it just feels clean, it feels fresh. Again, we are so spoiled, but that is one of those things that always lives up to the hype. And then it might be a little bit more obvious because a lot of that non-clean feeling of a city typically is in the downtown with just the increased traffic, the trash, etc. But here, a lot of the locals absolutely love living in such a clean place to live, and they take it seriously all over. So the Greenbelt, you're not gonna find a ton of litter everywhere. In the foothills, in the trails, as you get out of town, you're always gonna see the signs that remind you to, hey, pack in, but pack out. Don't leave your stuff at your campsite. People take this extremely seriously because, like I said, we are spoiled about the cleanliness here, but we also know it's a very slippery slope and we could lose it at any moment. Take it seriously and reap that benefit. The second big pro that people talk about, and this is more of kind of a category of everything, is that a lot of people make the move up here because they just want a better, higher quality of life. Once they get up here, for whatever that might mean to you, some of the big areas, they always do live up to that hype, and people really do feel as though after being here for a year, 2 years, 5 years, that their quality of life is noticeably better. A few of those specific areas of quality of life that people bring up is one, the overall relaxed vibe that they get from the entire area. We are not a hustle and bustle, work as much as you can, Zoom everywhere kind of city. Even if you're working in downtown, people always bring up, a lot of people go out for that full lunch hour. It isn't something where you're expected to be in the office from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. A lot of people believe in that kind of balanced lifestyle. Work and life should coexist here. That's an overall feeling. On the same thread, that shorter commute, our average commute up here is around 22 minutes. For those of us that are living here, that sounds like a long commute. For those of you that might be coming from other places, you know that that is not very far. Once you start to complain about your commute, that is always a sign that you have been here and you're starting to feel a little bit more like a local, because again, we are spoiled by our traffic. As that starts to get worse, we all will have to adjust. This is not for everybody. There's certain parts of town where if you have to go north to south a lot, that's going to take a little bit longer than if you're close to the highway, etc. But that commute is most likely going to be shorter. And then a big part of that relaxed vibe is just the people up here. It is very common for people to talk about just how nice and welcoming and friendly people are up here in the area. This doesn't mean that you have to be the ultimate social butterfly when you're at the store, but people will smile at you. They'll say hi if they know you. When you're at the farmer's market, people will strike up small conversations when you're looking at their booth. The overall vibe of the people here is just really, really good. And then finally, and this goes for people who are raising a family who aren't, everybody really loves this is a very safe place to live. Do some of your own research when you're looking at those kind of crime statistics, but fairly consistently, both on the violent crime and the property crime side, our entire valley always ranks pretty well. There are going to be some areas here that are even exceptional for our valley, but overall, this is a place where you're going to feel very comfortable, you're going to feel safe at night, and that's something that honestly, it's hard to quantify. Now, if you're at the stage where you're starting to think about which of the specific cities I'm looking at, I know Boise, the entire Treasure Valley, but is Boise really the best place for me? What are the other things that it might have to offer? In the link in the description, or if you want to shoot me an email, just ask for my relocation guide and I will send it over to you. It's a document that you can go through. It has all the best information on why you might choose an area, why one area is better than another, things to do, whatever it might be. It is a great place to really get started on learning more about which area might be the best fit for you. And if you're liking this video, hit that subscribe button down below. That way you're the first to know everything you need to know about living up here in Boise. But getting straight into the third reason why people really like living up here is our economy. It is growing and it is booming. I do want to take a second and pause here. Right now, our entire country is going through all sorts of economic kind of ups and downs. So keep in mind that there are a lot of things on the national level that we're all experiencing. But remember, this is really going to be what is our area doing compared to some of the others. The first of which is being our unemployment rate has always been pretty low compared to the national average. And right now, even as we're starting to see unemployment kind of start to go up around the country, we're still quite a bit lower than the national unemployment rate. In fact, as we're seeing a lot of places really have stagnant job growth or having that negative, starting to see that unemployment go up, Boise actually has one of the largest percentages of job growth over the last year. From April 2024 to April 2025, the top 5 cities in terms of overall non-farm labor job growth, 4 of them were in the Carolinas, North and South Carolina. The only one in the top 5 was Boise. We grew at around 2.7%. This is when you account for all jobs that aren't farm related, but also if you only filter for those kind of more high income potential jobs, tech, healthcare, professional services, all of that, Boise is still there in the top 5. Those sorts of jobs and those sorts of industries is a big reason why our economy is doing pretty good. Tech, healthcare, advanced manufacturing, food production, agriculture, those are all industries that are really starting to take a foothold here. We're having companies come, they're investing in them, and we're seeing those industries grow, both in terms of just number of companies, volume, but also in the actual jobs that they're offering. This is obviously fantastic if you work in those industries, but it's also been really good for the entire community as a whole. Right now, one of the biggest kind of high profile employers that we have is Micron. They are getting started on a very long, very expensive process of kind of expanding their presence here in Southeast Boise. And this of course is going to lead to a ton of jobs, but we've seen a ton of tradesmen, electrical, construction, whatever it might be. They are hiring like crazy and they are hiring at very, very good wage points, which is opening up a lot of opportunities. But then also it's been a nice boom for Southeast Boise and Boise as a whole because there's a lot more activity out there than there typically would be. As we're seeing this all across the valley, that is the kind of stuff that will bring things up. Now, before you all jump into the comments, this is a pros video, so keep that in mind, but we're gonna talk about cost of living here next. But I do wanna touch on our wages here, they are not great. Our wage to housing cost kind of ratio, it is very, very bad. For the amount of growth, the appreciation, everything that we've seen here in the valley over the last 5-10 years, it is baffling that our wages really haven't creeped up much at all. But with some of these industries, these companies really starting to bring things up, this hopefully should start to help our wages really start to grow, because that is something that our valley needs so bad. But even with that considered, let's talk about the fourth pro that people are always pleasantly surprised with. Our cost of living here, still relatively affordable when we're looking at the entire country, but is specifically on this kind of Western United States. Is the cost of living as affordable as it was a decade ago, pre-pandemic? No, not at all. But that can be said about every single place across the country. Whenever people move here, even though they know that it's going to cost a certain amount, they're worried about how expensive things are getting, they're hearing it from everybody they're talking to, they're still so surprised by how much more affordable just your day-to-day life is going to be. Our housing costs, they are really high. We're not talking about that in this video, but when we're talking about your groceries, your food, that is going to be a pretty affordable thing compared to what you might be coming from. Utilities and taxes, Idaho in general, but the Boise area, we beat most places on those. Our utilities up here are so cheap. And we're talking about power, gas. It is a great thing. It will differ a little bit around the valley, but we're not talking by a lot. It is most likely going to be a benefit to your overall financial picture. And then our property taxes. Our property taxes here are very low. If you end up in Meridian, Eagle, you're going to be paying about 0.5%. In Boise, you're going to be closer to that 0.8%. As you get out to Nampa, Caldwell, you might end up a little bit above 1%. But in general, that is going to be much lower than some of the other areas. So what I always tell my clients, and if you've watched any of my videos before, you know that this is something that I really implore you to do. Wages and home prices, those are going to be two of the biggest factors in your kind of financial picture and if this makes dollars and cents for you. But don't forget, do the math, make sure that you know those, and then factor in the cost of living as well, because even with taking a wage cut, buying the house that you want, a lot of people still end up in the green compared to what they might be coming from. And finally, one of the easiest things that draws people up here to the area is just the overall nature and the outdoor environment that you'll have access to in town, in your backyard, 10 minutes out of town, an hour out of town, whatever it is. You are just gonna be in heaven if you like the outdoors. This is two ways. One, if you like access to the outdoors for actual activities, you like to go camping, biking, you like to go hunting, whatever it might be, really within a couple hours of the Boise Metro area, outside of surfing the ocean, you can basically find every other activity somewhere up here. So it's a great place if you wanna try a new thing, get that hobby, or you just wanna really dive into what you love. You're gonna have some options. Here in the immediate Boise area, you're gonna have things like the Greenbelt, you're gonna have the Boise River, Lake Lowell, you're gonna have Lucky Peak, the foothills. There are a ton of things here just for you to get out and do without taking a solid trip. And then maybe you're sitting there and you're like, I really don't care. I don't like to go rafting. I'm not gonna go hiking. That is not my style. Don't forget too, some of the cleanliness that we talked about earlier, that clean air, that is a part of this, but also just how pretty it is. All year round, you're gonna have a ton of greenery. This is the city of trees. You're gonna have a ton of the fall colors during the fall. In the winter, that frost, some of that snow, oh, it can look so good. The access to the nature, the different types of nature environments that you can see, it really does just give you that beauty of a place that honestly I want where I'm living. You like the foothills? Great. You like more of that open flat space, the farmland kind of setup? Fantastic. Lakes. You might like more trees. Whatever it is, we can find something for you. And finally, one of the things that I think is so great about our area is you do have access to all 4 seasons. So those activities that happen year round, there's always something new coming. Those environments, that beauty, it gives you a little bit of a different thing where you don't get bored of seeing the exact same environment every single day. But there you have it. Those are 5 of the biggest reasons why people decide to move up here that actually kind of live up to the hype. This is obviously not an exhaustive list. If you have any questions, if you're thinking about something, if your deal breaker just wasn't on here, drop a comment below, shoot me a message, shoot me an email. I'll do what I can to answer. And like I said, visit the link down below, ask for it through one of those texts or emails, just ask for my area guide. I'll send it over to you so that you can familiarize yourself with our area and what it might have to offer you and your family. And since you made it this far in the video, obviously it didn't suck. So if you want to see more like this, hit that subscribe button down below. That way you're the first to know. But until then, thank you so much for watching. Watch one of these videos that's popping up and I'll see you all on the next one.